What's up, my YouTube friends? I'm Jeremy from WeldTec Designs. I got my glasses on. We're gonna look smart here. We're gonna give you guys a ton of information, and I hope I'm gonna help you guys get smarter in this video. So, there's another madman driving off like a crazy man. Anyways, back to what I wanna talk about. Grab some popcorn, grab a drink. This is gonna be a long video. We're gonna go over a ton of stuff in this video showing you, well, I got the tape measure out. We're gonna give you a ton of measurements of what this particular Winnebago sits, how it sits, where it sits, how long it is, what you should think about doing. So let's jump into this thing and have some fun and learn. All right, guys, so the first measurement I wanna give you guys on this is what this is bumper to bumper. That includes kind of like the back has the spare tire carrier on it, and when we go around to the back later, we'll show you that. So going from bumper to bumper, we're currently at about 25 foot 6 inches on the total RV. Now this particular RV does not have the levelers on it, so we're gonna have more ground clearance than we would on an RV without ground clearance. However, we're gonna take some measures here on flat ground. We're also gonna head out the driveway that you guys know you love seeing us coming in hot in. We're gonna take some measurements on there, which is a nice little transition to show you how close these do come to dragging the ground. This particular Winnebago also has the tanks in the rear, so we're gonna get that off when we get this whole lift completed. What we're gonna do to this is a Baja grocery getter kit in the front. We're also gonna do custom springs and a lot more, so make sure you guys stay tuned to the end, because we're also gonna jump inside this thing. We're gonna talk about the inside, and I'm even gonna go over the storage on this thing. So if you're thinking about buying one of these Class C RVs, you can see how much storage they have, or maybe in my opinion necessarily don't have. So let's jump down to this thing and show you guys some of the critical measurements that we wanna look at when considering if you need to lift your RV or not. So currently, with the stock suspension, we're looking about a 225 75 16, and it's not an about, but I guess that's actually what it is, because that's what it says it is. So that's one thing. A lot of times we do go to bigger tires, and we'll talk about that later when we get the lift on it. Let's go jump to the back of this thing, check out how much clearance we have in the rear. All right, guys, so as we jump to the back of this thing, we're gonna notice one thing, obviously, on all these RVs is how low the sewer pipe hangs down. And of course, we always say, we would hate to break that off, because then your day just gets shitty. We're coming in on this thing, and we're about 10 3/4 of an inch. So this is still a little bit higher than the battery box, which typically could get high centered on this thing, you know, depending on what you're doing. But most of the time what we see is these rear sewer tanks that, you know, they even hang off even more in the back of these, and that is definitely a downfall, because we don't want those to rip off. So another thing that as we walk around this RV, we're gonna see one slide out right here, and when we do our tour of it, we'll make sure we pop that thing out. Now, one of the things I mentioned in the beginning of this video is the amount of storage that these have. So right here, as we're already down here, we'll open up this storage right here, and you can see that this does have a decent amount of storage in here. So you got probably, it's about 3 feet deep, and in the widest portion, it's about 5 feet. So nah, it's not even 5 feet. It's 4 feet. It goes from here and to about a foot in front of it. So you could actually like maybe run this tote up in there. So you do have, you know, a decent amount of space in the back of this, and this is gonna be under the rear bed. All right, guys, so this is another cabinet that I think is really cool, and the reason being is that it's gonna give you storage pass-through where you can actually get to whatever you put in this cabinet from inside the RV, which is nice. Looks like they're utilizing it to put some really cool chairs and a trash can. But a good amount of storage right there. Again, like I'm always thinking, like I got a ton of kids, we're taking a ton of stuff, and how much stuff I need to bring along. So I would say, like, I guess for a small RV like this, coming in at about 25 feet, it does have a decent amount of storage in them compared to some of the ones that have just smaller storage underneath it. So I like that right there. None of these other cabinets are going to be for storage. Most likely that's where you're going to be for your generator, and this is your propane fill right there. So none of these other cabinets you know, they get a little tricky. You think, oh man, you got a couple more storage cabinets, and really you don't, because it's just access to get to the critical things of your RV. So I think that's it as far as the walk around. Let's go drive this thing out to the bump and see how low this thing sits coming up over that. All right guys, so this is just a nice little hump here. So as we come back into this battery box, we're gonna see that we're now about 8 inches right there. So it did come down a little bit. To show you the difference in this transition though, let's go to the back bumper, measure the back bumper and see how high it is off the ground. Now we'll come in and we'll measure 2 points back here. So we're gonna come into the hitch and we're at about 24.5 inches right now. And then also you have the little drag skids right there, and you're coming in at about 21 inches right there. So you can see how much of a transition this is. Now we'll go ahead, pull all the way out, turn it around and come back in and show you guys the difference in how close this does get in the rear when coming in and out of driveways similar to this. All right guys, so you can see, man, we're all the way down at about 7.25 inches now. So we definitely, you can see that this is not a huge transition, but definitely a lot of change. And as we come under here and measure the skids, we're at about 5.5 inches. So this isn't even a big transition, that's my point. And you do get very close to dragging these. So one thing to be cautious of when you get your new RV, to make sure you maybe have somebody spotting you, checking out what you're doing, so you're not like one of our other customers and completely rips his gate track out of his driveway thinking he had a ton of room. Now you gotta fix the RV and you gotta lift it. Luckily we were able to do that and he gets into his driveway just fine now. So a couple measurements that I wanna show you guys and talk about the problems that a lot of people are running into on these Class Cs. And if you have questions, please comment below. Let us know, like, do you ever have problems? Yes, no. Like, yeah, no problem. I'd never want to lift it. Oh man, the lifts are cool. I'd love to hear what you think. So now we're gonna go into like part 2 of this video. I don't even know. It's just gonna be a long video. I hope you're enjoying this. And we're gonna go lift this thing. Let's go have some fun. What's up? We have the RV, we have the lift on it, so we kind of want to walk you through it. We're going to take some of the measurements again that we did before. I don't know if we're going to have time to actually take it out to the street to show you how different it is, but it's a huge difference. And maybe we can even have the customer who I just gave a ride in it maybe tell you what he thought of the new RV suspension. So we're going to start off here with the side panel of this where we talked about it. I got my trusty sidekick Kendall here to help me take some measurements, and we're coming in at about 20 5/8 of an inch right here in this front part. So we'll show you the before and after on that. So a ton of room right there. And as we run to the back of this thing, we're gonna see just how much room. But the big thing I think was when we came back here to the hitch, the ladder, and we're sitting about 21.5 inches. Now I think we did a measurement on this out in the driveway, so we'll check that out. But you can see just a ton of room underneath here. We're never gonna scrape anything. So let's talk about what we did on this thing. So in the back, we did a full custom set of leaf springs to get the lift out of it. We also added the Fox shocks to the rear to control the ride and just make the ride awesome. And we're gonna make a video of just showing you guys us driving one of these things. It's a blast. So let's go jump to the front of this thing because there's all kinds of fun stuff going on up front. So on the front of this, we are still waiting for the black grille to come in, but we wanted to at least show you guys what we have going on here. You can see that we put the new tube winch bumper on here. This is awesome, really nice. And this is a new feature that we have now on the tube winch bumpers. You'll also see that this has an integrated receiver tube on the front of it, so you can add this to your front winch bumper if you're wanting to carry bikes or anything of that nature. You need more storage space. We know that that's always important. Of course, you can also run your winch in there. It's going to have your recovery hooks for your D-rings, and then also additionally it's going to have light mounts up here on the top, so if you want to run more lights. So now let's jump underneath this thing. You guys know what we do on these things. If you don't, I'm going to tell you. We did the Baja grocery getter on this. You guys know it, you love it. So we're going to have our modified beams on there. We're going to have our extended radius arms, our coils, our shocks, and then if you stick your head all the way up in there, you'll see that awesome Fox steering stabilizer, and my little monster Kendall hanging out over there on the other side. Now she's not part of this lift, but she sure is fun to hang out with. Very cool on there. I know we told you we would show you guys the inside of this thing because it is also very rad on this Winnebago, and of course it's locked. Always, always, always. Key time. All right, so in this is a smaller coach. I want to say we were coming in at 25 foot, bumper to bumper. Yes, Kendall. Yes, Kendall found the bed in here, so you're going to have a full queen size bed in the back that is going to fold out when you put the slide out. You'll also have your bathroom. Look at that cool bathroom, Kendall. Ooh, Kendall likes the bathroom. A lot of room in that bathroom. You're going to have your freezer and your refrigerator. So once again, we're going to have our cooktop in this particular RV, but no oven, just additional storage. So more storage in this compartment. Then you're also going to have the dinette that's going to turn into a bed. And then straight behind Austin, you're going to see that another full-size queen bed where you can easily sleep 2 adults. So I would say you could sleep 4 adults in this and 2 children, or maybe even 4 children and 2 adults. So very nice. I also like this. This has the hardwood floor on the bottom. Kendall found the trash bag. And the water, I took the customer on a test drive and the water was sliding around. Stuff was moving. So one thing you're going to need to make sure you do when you do your Baja grocery getter kit is make sure everything's strapped down, because you're going to notice that you start driving the RV maybe just a little bit faster. Just saying. Let's go talk to the customer, see what he thought about this lift and how it rides, because we know it's just me. If I tell you, it doesn't really mean much. Let's go talk to him. What if even if you notice a difference, you could be like, dude, I can't even tell. It was the worst money I ever spent.
No, that's not. Well, we just went down the street. The way you just turned, going 30 miles an hour. I mean, just the thing didn't sway at all. It totally holds in. It almost drives better than my F250. I have an XLT 250 with
and now
37s on it, and that thing felt better than my truck.
What did you think of the dip leaving the?
I'm kind of like, can't believe it. I thought I still was going to have to worry, even though we had the clearance. I didn't think it was going to have the stability. That's what it's got. It's got the stability.
Right. Like, it's not only do you have ground clearance now, but it really does ride better too.
I mean, I'm going to be, scratching the bumpers, and I'm going to be tearing off the
rear end.
Kendall. We'll see. Hopefully not, but I think so.
And now
we're going to be taking it to places that I probably would never thought I could have done. So.
And that was one of the things when you first came here. You were like, hey, I want to put airbags on it too, to be able to, because you thought it was going to be very unstable. You were going to need that. And now after driving it, you haven't got to drive it yet. Only I got to drive it.
Yeah.
He'll get to drive it home.
I get to drive it home. Put a couple miles on it. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm super pumped. Yeah, it's gonna work. It's gonna work just exactly. Now I got to go spend another $5,000 on tires. So,
the downfalls. These are real world problems. I mean, we can't have these white wheels on here. We're gonna have to change it out to some black wheels and some bigger tires.
Yeah, just getting started.
These projects never end. Hold on one second. Oh, good job. Why don't you put them all in the trash? See, she's already out here helping. But we just kind of wanted to talk. We love talking to the customers. We love getting their take on it, just because you guys all get sick of hearing me talk about this stuff. So that's it. This is an awesome Winnebago with a 6-inch lift on it. I'll make sure I put all the stuff down below so that way you can check out all the things about this kit, including the bumper and parts. And that's all I got for you guys. Until next time, I will see you later.